Execute Order 66. It will be done, my lords.
Whoa, 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 my clones, what are you doing? The Clone Wars Season 7 is the long-awaited 7th and final season of the best Star Wars TV show, at least in my personal opinion, The Clone Wars. So, The Clone Wars Season 7 tells the story, and this final season not only covers the 501st Legion attempting to rescue one of their brothers, not only Ahsoka returning to the Jedi Order and befriending two sisters on Coruscant, but also this is the season that connects the dots and ties into Revenge of the Sith and lets us know where Ahsoka and Rex were during the events of Episode 3 and how they survived Order 66. The Clone Wars is a TV show that has a similar reputation to another TV show of a beloved franchise, The Lion Guard. Everybody was unsure about it existing initially, and the 2008 Clone Wars movie, I hate. That should not have been a movie. That should have just been the first few pilot episodes for the show, as it was far too episodic for a movie. And sure, the show did start out more kid-friendly, but as it went on, it got epic. And as the show was getting closer and closer to Revenge of the Sith, it was getting more gritty. So what's devastating news to hear that the show was cancelled in 2014 after 6 seasons. But thankfully, Disney realised after running Rebels for a few years, they thought, you know what, fans adore Clone Wars, and they deserve at least one final season to give the show a definitive ending. So in 2018 at Comic-Con, they showed footage for season 7, and one bit of footage they showed was unread, but it was enough to get me entirely on board. And the Clone Wars season 7, while I wouldn't say this is my favourite season of the 7, I still would say either season 5 or 6 would be the best seasons of the show, and season 7 does take its time to reach its highest highs. But this is still a explosive final season, and stick with it because the final episodes are more than worth sticking around for. Trust me, and a lot. I've heard a lot of people say the story arc with Ahsoka bonding with the sisters, Trace and Rafa, is the weakest storyline in this season. That's where I would respectfully disagree. For me, the weakest story arc of this season is the very first 4 episodes, where Rex and some troops from the 501st Legion go to rescue Echo. You know, that's a clone from the episode Rookies, in which General Grievous attempted to blow up Kamino. But sure, Echo is such a kind-hearted and and a lovable member of the clone army. But I don't think he needed a 4 episode arc about him. I'm sorry, but that storyline was dragged out for too long, and so yeah, the first 4 episodes they were really filler. Also, the animation has never looked more top notch since this show began in 2008. I can't believe the show has been running for 12 freaking years now, and this was a fitting time to premiere the final season of the show on Disney Plus, as this year is the 15th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. Whereas Ahsoka's storyline felt more necessary because it was, well, part of Ahsoka's return journey to the Jedi Order. I hated the decision to make her leave the Jedi Order at one point. So, well, because Ahsoka she's the greatest Clone Wars character, period. That you can't have the show without her, and Anakin, in some ways, had better chemistry with Ahsoka than he did Padme. So yeah, but Ashley Eckstein maybe gives her most terrific vocal performance as Ahsoka to date. This may be the final time for some time we hear her voice the character again, because she will be recasted in The Mandalorian Season 2 in her live action debut. But I personally, found the story arc with her meeting up with the sisters to be decent, as Trace and Ruffa, they were badass characters, and I love that Ahsoka finally got some great female besties that she could talk to, and they had a intriguing past with the Jedi, but the best story arc of this season, we all wanted from this season was seeing Revenge of the Sith from Ahsoka's point of view. Does this season get electrifying by that point. And it is top tier Star Wars. It is Rise of Skywalker good, that part of the season. If the entire season was nothing but those episodes and just that consistent awesomeness, then this season could have been the best of the show, and it would have received a 5 out of 5 star rating within a millisecond. But because you have to sit through a few filler ones first, that does lower its grade for me. But I love how Obi-Wan, well, he tells Ahsoka about General Grievous kidnapping Chancellor Palpatine on Coruscant, and then he informs Ahsoka that Count Dooku has been defeated by Anakin, and Ahsoka, she couldn't be there as she had to stay on this planet where Darth Maul conquers, and that explains her absence in Revenge of the Sith perfectly, and Darth Maul returns because we know in season 5 that Palpatine didn't kill Maul. He's just he has other uses for him, and I never thought I would want to see a lightsaber fight between Ahsoka and Darth Maul, but I'm overjoyed they finally did it. Yeah, Ahsoka and Darth Maul's lightsaber fight is now one of my favourites in the entire show. Not my absolute favourite. My favourite would still be Palpatine versus Darth Maul and Savage Opress. And I am a little underwhelmed that we don't really get, that Palpatine doesn't really get a fight scene in this show. Well, that's because he's converting Anakin to the dark side in Revenge of the Sith. I do get that, but in one of the first 3 episodes, you could have had just a little more Palpatine in it. All we really get of Palpatine here is him saying "Execute Order 66," but oh well. And their relationship was more compelling than I ever thought it could be. And they even brought back the original Darth Maul actor to do motion capture just for that lightsaber fight alone. And that benefited the entire fight, seeing those moves from the Phantom Menace again. And I was shocked that Ahsoka sided with Darth Maul at one point and helped him escape, which explains how he got to Tatooine in Star Wars Rebels. And thank Yoda that Rex was the one clone trooper to defy Order 66 and assist Ahsoka in staying alive. He is the only redeemable clone of the entire Republic army, and just seeing Ahsoka bury the clones who she was forced to kill in self-defense. It's one of the most stomach-wrenchingly emotional endings to an animated show I have literally seen. Well, we knew this season was going to have a tragic conclusion because Revenge of the Sith was the tragic fall of the Jedi. But I love that this season didn't sugarcoat anything, and the final scene with Darth Vader and him picking up Ahsoka's lightsaber, that may be the coolest Darth Vader scene since his final scene in Rogue One. And at least we got Darth Vader for just one scene in this season. So overall, the Clone Wars Season 7, after a wonky first few episodes, picks up big time, and it totally respects Revenge of the Sith. And the final episodes concluded my personal favourite Star Wars show on the highest notes that they could.
I give the Clone Wars Season 7 4 stars out of 5. Great show.
So yeah, while the Star Wars movies may not be getting so much love nowadays, thankfully the Disney Plus TV shows are bringing back the love for the saga. Yeah, it's as if Master Jedis are working on the show as well. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what are your thoughts on Clone Wars Season 7? And what's your favourite and least favourite season of the Clone Wars? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. And I'll see you all next time when I will review Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory as requested by movies and rankings with Reese, and I'll also continue my James Bond reviews soon. And remember, movies are us. Bye guys.